Hey everyone, Dylan with Rogue Van again. We have something pretty special today. We're up at Owl Off-Road and today we're getting a massive rear end upgrade for the driveline.
So we're over here at Owl Vans today. We're really fortunate. They're not only instructing our team, these lovely guys, how to install these axles properly. We're also just kind of being given like step-by-step window into the process. We're getting all this really good nitty-gritty details about how these are made, how they're installed, the evolution, and honestly, it's really incredible. This is an amazing upgrade for your Sprinter, and I think it's not only unique in the sense that no one else has done it, it's also an amazing solution that we really haven't seen before, not in this market. So you can see that behind me, the hub assembly is being removed from the axle so that we can swap it onto the new one. There's a couple different reasons for doing that. It's pretty specific bearings. Also, Mercedes sells them as a single body kit. So regardless of if they're being bought new or being swapped over from the old to the new, they will have to be separated. I think that further down the line, they're going to have a new hub that'll come from an aftermarket manufacturer, but right now, this is what the process is. Taking it off the old and putting it onto the new.
So this entire upgraded assembly comprises of Curry's, basically their version of an upgraded Dana 60, which is not only physically larger and can handle a lot more like weight and torque than the factory housing, but also has a higher oil capacity and just bigger bearings, bigger ring and pinion. And speaking of the ring and pinion, it comes with a set of Motive 410s, which are wrapped around, in this one, a Eaton E-Locker, giving us the selectable locker capability in the rear and really improving the 4x4 capability of yellow. Moving out, it has a higher spline count on the axle shafts, which are chromoly axles. Again, that's another huge strength upgrade from factory. It uses the same spline count on the external so that it's all OEM hubs, so you can run OEM brakes, everything like that. It makes that side a lot easier with maintenance and things like that. And even the axle tubes themselves are chromoly tubes. The whole housing is obviously quite a lot beefier. It does add a little bit of weight, but having the weight low down, especially on a vehicle this high and top heavy, is actually going to act as ballast and help us not roll it over in the trail. Although this is clearly in front of me and closer to the camera, you can still tell how much physically beefier it is than the OEM one. And if you look at the standard differential cover, it doesn't even have a threaded fill plug. So there's just one other part that can wear and eventually let in water and dust and kill your differential. And that's not even including if this breather that just goes into the chassis rail is to fail first, which they get brittle, they crack. Even the breather itself on the upgraded Owl rear axle is physically larger. It's just, everything's beefier. And you can see the axle housing diameter of the axle tubes is thinner and also a much milder steel, whereas this is actually a chromoly steel. It's just so much strength where you didn't used to have it. And bigger bearings, better load carrying capability, and longer wearing. And it's also worth mentioning that one of the big advantages of going with an E-Locker over, say, an air locker is that it doesn't need any air compressor or associated plumbing. It just needs 12 volt and a 12 volt switch. As you can see on my shoulder, the guys are finishing up getting their whole axle assembly put in, and you can see just by looking at it how much beefier and heavy duty it is, which really is well warranted for this particular van running the 37s and all the weight that we're going to have both inside and on top of the van.
We're just wrapping up an axle install and we're really excited. This is Dan Fresh, runs the axle program here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Santiago. Yeah, we're extremely hyped on having this new axle that we just came out with from Owl Vans, and looking forward to seeing what we can do off-road with these things.
Absolutely. So can you just tell me some key differences between the factory axle, which we just yanked off of yellow?
It's cute, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I like it. Yeah. So our main reason even behind the whole thing is when you look at this axle, it looks like it's out of like a half-ton pickup. And now that you guys, especially like you guys, have gone so crazy on these vans and throwing the kitchen sink at them literally, we've got so much weight hanging off it, we knew this was a weak point.
Right.
So that's why we went to this much bigger, beefier axle. There's a Dana 60. It's got 3.5-inch axle tubes, much thicker wall, stronger axle shafts, so on and so on. So that was the idea behind this axle, not just for off-road, but even on-road. I mean, it's just heavy duty enough to where we're not gonna see a problem where we're afraid at some point in time, we're gonna start to see these fail.
Absolutely. And it's a really, I gotta say, I mean, it performs really well, but it's a really good looking axle. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it does look nice, you know, and like I was telling you earlier, the diff cover, I mean, so if you go over a rock and you get hung up on something, instead of continuing over where this one's got this little tin cover, you know, and peeling the thing back and dumping all the fluid on the ground, all the little things, we really tried to pack into this and get it right.
Yeah.
And we've spent years developing it, so we're super excited to finally have this thing done.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, we're really stoked to be here, and we're really excited to have this as a part of our build.
Well, I look forward to you guys doing lots of these axles out of your facility.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd be stoked to see what you guys are going to end up with here at SEMA with this van.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely be doing a lot more with Owl Vans, and we're definitely going to be doing a lot of these axles down at our shop in San Diego. So if you're interested, there's a link at the bottom of this video. You can check out these axles, what they can do, and you can see a link to how to get them installed both here in Anaheim and down in San Diego at our facility. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I was just about to say how these rear axles not only will last longer, but they also look a lot better.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
You
may remember me from such videos as
rugged.
Where's My Van? Rugged Design Concepts. Insulation, what is it and why? Today we're talking to you about the Owl Van Off-Road exclusive rear axle. A beautifully machined piece of Dana 60.
Crafted from the one-ton truck gods themselves.
Yeah.
Cut, that's a wrap.
Cut down from Odin's hammer.